Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of the Indigo Womb Wisdom Podcast. I'm your host and sister friend, Shatia Owsley, and thank you for watching and or listening. So sit back, grab some tea and a notebook, and let's vibe together as we have organic and practical conversations embracing intuitive womb wisdom, spirituality, and a sprinkle of magic to rebel, restore, and radiate overall wellness in our lives. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Indigo Womb Wisdom Podcast. I am your host and your sister friend, Shatia Owsley, and today we are joined by the founder of PsychoPhit and the co-founder of PhysioFit, based in Huntsville, Alabama. She is an NASM certified personal trainer, Girls Gone Strong certified pre and postnatal exercise coach, and a Bar 3 certified instructor. Her work has been featured on WAAY 31, WAFF 48, Tennessee's Valley Living, and the Bohemian radio station Vibes 93.1. She specializes in supporting women through their perinatal journey with evidence-based fitness programming that honors both physical and mental health. Additionally, she is committed to empowering women to improve their maternal health outcomes and championing exercise as a vital component of mental health treatment during the perinatal period. Today, I would like to introduce our guest, the beautiful, the talented, the amazing Miss Jasmine Mitchell. Hello, girlfriend.
Hello. How are you, huh?
How are you? I'm so happy to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm excited. I've been watching this get closer and closer on my calendar, and I have been looking forward to it.
Yes. So we are talking today all things exercise and why it is so important in the perinatal period. But before we jump into all the gems that you're going to drop today of why it's so important, I want you to take us back a little bit onto how you got started on this journey to where you are today.
Okay. Rewinding back to the beginning. I actually started on my personal, more in-depth fitness journey in regards to mental health. In around probably like 2017, I was dealing with my own battle of depression and anxiety. And I was going through a really hard time. I had a friend, she came and she picked me up one day. It was like midnight and she was like, "We're going to go to the gym and everything's going to be okay." And I was an athlete growing up. I played sports. I did all of the things, but a real fitness journey was never something that I had for myself. And so we went to the gym and it just turned into self-therapy. Interesting. I didn't know anything about the science and stuff behind it back then, but I would be in the gym lifting weights, just silent tears streaming down my face as I was working through things. And that's what started me in the gym. I stayed pretty consistent since that time. And then I founded my company, PsychoPhit, which is literally about bridging the gap between mental health and physical fitness, learning that you cannot have total body wellness if you're not including your mental health. And then I had my lovely little boy. How old is he now? He's 3. And so about 3.5 years ago, I had my son. The crazy thing was during my pregnancy, as somebody who was very in tune with their body, my world fell apart. I could not move. I was in so much pain. And anytime I would try to talk to my providers, their answers were, "Just sit down. This is normal. You'll get used to it. You're doing too much." But their version of me doing too much was trying to walk down the driveway to check my mailbox. And I could not make that trip to my mailbox without either becoming physically ill or having to sit down until somebody came to get me. And so I knew something was wrong, but there wasn't much I could do about it at the time. I did not know that there was help available to me. So fast forward, I gave birth to my son, still kind of trying to work through the postpartum experience on my own. I still was not feeling like myself. Even working with my therapist, I was telling her, like, something is still not right. My body does not feel okay. I'm struggling to just connect with myself. And I really don't remember what made me seek out pelvic floor therapy, but I came across it and I went to my OB And I was like, "Excuse me, sir, like, I need you to send this referral." And he was like, "I don't know why you would need that. This is just part of the recovery process. Like, you'll be fine." But this was about 9 months into my postpartum experience, and I was not fine. But I had to raise my voice a little bit and I let that man know, like, I'm not asking you. I'm telling you to send this paperwork. And so he did send the referral and it was crazy. All of the things that I had been experiencing, my PT was like, yeah, this is real common. Like, I got you, girl. We're going to help you through all of this. And, I was floored because up until that point, everybody was acting as if I was just this overly dramatic human that just could
Mhm.
not suck it up and deal with motherhood. And learning that that was not the case, it was a relief, but it also angered me because I should not have had to struggle as long as I did. So that experience led me to transitioning my individual company with PsychoPhit, with my strength-based programming to a more inclusive approach to focus in on my perinatal moms. Initially, I focused on the postpartum experience. However, after I met my friend, Dr. Sharos, learning that there was a lot of this work that I was doing in postpartum that could actually prep your body for birth and help you avoid, if not completely avoid and eliminate some of these issues. And so I did my research. I found Girls Gone Strong and their CPPC program for perinatal exercise. And I dove in. I was like, I'm going to learn all of the things that I can, make sure that I am making this care as accessible to people as possible. I knew I was very fortunate to be blessed to have access to a pelvic floor physical therapist. But where I come from, growing up in the hood, most people don't even know about these services that are out there. And even if they do know, they don't have the same access. Some people don't have the insurance. Some people they just don't have the resources to cover what a copay would look like. And so changing my business to be able to fit the community I came from, give them that access and just put the information out there as best as possible. And so in a nutshell, that is what started my journey.
So, for listeners who may be pregnant, newly postpartum, what makes the perinatal period so critical of why movement should be incorporated into this time frame?
It is so critical because your body is undergoing construction. You want to be able to support your body. It's growing a human, so you need to strengthen those muscles, train those ligaments, make sure you're moving your joints because your body feels as though something is wrong. Quite literally, your body wants to attack this thing that's growing inside of you because it's foreign. And that's why you feel the sickness. That's why you feel like your appetite is gone and all the different discomforts that come along with the perinatal experience. But being able to train your body to prep it, to get it comfortable in this new phase that it's in, and then even eliminating some of those issues like morning sickness, hypertension, what else is some stuff? The gestational diabetes. All of those can be mitigated, alleviated with exercise. And unfortunately, it's not something that is taught. They send you to all these classes about birth and, you do all your Lamaze and your breathing, but it's so much deeper than that. Your body is undergoing one of the biggest changes it's ever going to go through in its life. And your role is to support the best way you know how, not just through nutrition and what you eat, but how you're moving it, how you're working it, how you're prepping it, and getting it used to these new circumstances that it's under.
Very true. So, you mentioned doing this work prior to getting pregnant. So, can we just dive in a little bit of why it's important to prep your body for pregnancy? And what are some of the things that you would recommend?
Absolutely. You're right. The importance of exercise before conception, it has not got as much traction yet. However, you want to think about pregnancy as a marathon. Pregnancy and postpartum, you would not just, well, I know I wouldn't just go to the starting line of a marathon and just be like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this today. Like, let's go. Because it takes months, if not years of training and preparation to get your body ready for the strain that it's going to go through. yes, that race may only be for 12 to 24 hours, but you train for months and months on end. So when you're thinking about pregnancy, pregnancy is, by the grace of God, it's 9 months. But you don't want to just throw your body into this unfamiliar territory. You want to be prepping your muscles to undergo this strain. You want to be prepping your ligaments. You want to get yourself to such a healthy baseline that when this foreign body enters your system, it's not also your body's not also working against you in this period. So if you're entering your pregnancy experience in an unhealthy state, what you're passing on, to baby is an unhealthy starting place. And so when you're thinking about starting to prep your body, you want to look at your nutrition. Am I meeting the needs of my body, my fats, my proteins, my carbs? Like, is my body properly nourished? Is my brain properly nourished? If you can't function day to day and like without the appropriate calories and nutrition that you need, like you can feel it. Like your brain, you get foggy, you get sleepy. What do you think is going to happen to the cells that you're passing on to baby? So making sure they have the nutrients and things that they need prior to conception. And then our muscles in general, if they're dehydrated, if they're weak, if they're, atrophied, if they're going through all of these different things, you throw pregnancy on top of that and it's your body's fighting for its life, if we're being honest. And then, and that's not even touching on our partner's health and what they contribute to our experience during pregnancy. So just doing the best that you can to make sure you're thinking about all of the things around your body, nutrition, fitness wise, breathing. Are you in connection? Are you connected to your body? Can you breathe through stress or do you snap, at the drop of a dime? Are you regulated enough to undergo the strain of what pregnancy would look like, of what a new baby would look like? And a dysregulated mama cannot raise regulated children. And that's a process that starts way before baby even gets here. So if I had to give people just a quick starting line, stretch, walk every day, make sure you're getting your steps in, make sure you're hydrated. Because if you can't even do those basic things before conception, your fight is going to be that much harder during pregnancy and postpartum. So doing the things you can beforehand. So when you enter your marathon, you're already ready. Like you've already set a solid foundation and you know what to look for during this upcoming experience.
Yeah, for sure. There is so much information out there, and there is a lot of misinformation out there. Can you help us debunk some of those myths?
Yes, pregnancy has been described as this very delicate, fragile state that women are in. However, it's not really the case. Like, yes, we are more vulnerable. However, our bodies are very strong to be able to grow a person, for our bodies to actually restructure themselves to grow a human. They are strong. So when it comes to exercise, one, if you're already exercising, whatever you've been doing, for the most part, you can keep doing with proper coaching. They'll tell you when and where you need to dial back if you need to do so. And usually we'll try to keep you at about 70% of what your max, exertion is going to be, just to keep you and baby safe. However, if you are lifting heavy weights and you've been doing that, that's something you can continue to do. If you've been running, you can continue to run. When signs of stopping are pain, pressure, windedness, excessive windedness, because, you can't breathe when you're pregnant, period. But, just excessive windedness. But if you're looking to start an exercise program, that is something that you want to ease into with certified instructors, because you don't want to jump into something that's completely unfamiliar. Because just like when you're starting a new exercise program, and we're not even thinking about conception or pregnancy, it shocks your body. You go through, your body's like, oh my God, what is happening? I'm in pain. I don't want to do this. You're stiff. Well, those are the same shocks your body is going to go through during pregnancy. And it's that much worse when you try to experience it. Your body sees it as stress. And so you want to make sure you're working with a professional who is certified. And I'm not just talking about somebody who works with perinatal clients. I'm speaking on somebody who is licensed, certified in working with these individuals because they are a special population of people. And there are certain risk factors that come along with just the pregnancy experience in general. So you want to make sure whoever you're seeking out for help knows what to look for and knows when to send you to the doctor right away or knows how to help you get through certain discomforts that you may come across. But generally, exercise, it's safe. You want to do it. It is encouraged. The science is out there now. Mamas who exercise during pregnancy, they tend to have stronger, healthier, more intelligent babies when baby does arrive. And those babies, you're starting them off at a healthier place in life. They're about 30% less likely to deal with things like obesity, hypertension, the things that we worry about. So you're giving not only yourself a better baseline, but you're also setting baby up for a healthy starting point as well.
Now, I just wanted to go back a bit because you also mentioned partners in this and how partners play a role in this. And so I just wanted to talk about how partners impact the health and wellness of that mom, but also how partners can also encourage and help during this preconception time where maybe they can work together to prepare for baby.
Yes, and this research is still coming out on this. I know I'm still doing my research, but it has been shown that our partner's health at conception plays a major role in our health during pregnancy. So if you're experiencing things like excessive morning sickness, a lot of that goes back to our partner's health at conception. So when you're looking, if you're thinking about conceiving and possibly going on this journey of having a baby. I tell people 9 months. You got 9 months, they need to do 9 months too. 9 months in before this baby, gets here, before this baby starts growing in mom. You need to be getting your body in the best shape it's ever been in. You need to be the healthiest that you've ever been because all of that stuff, mommy has to carry every ounce of it. All of the stress, all of the unhealthy habits, any dehydration, malnutrition, those are the cells that you're passing on to mom to grow your baby. And a lot of times that, it's not all of it, but that is where that excessive morning sickness comes in. That is where a lot of that pain and stuff comes in because your body is fighting not just to grow baby, also fighting off all of these, what am I trying to say? Predisposed sicknesses and diseases as it's trying to grow a healthy baby. So yes, when you're talking about conception, you definitely want to plan it together. Both mommy and partner need to be preparing themselves, not just physically, not just the household, not the environment, but body as well.
We have touched a lot on the physical, and I think that that's extremely important. But I just want you to touch on what the connection is between exercise and the improvement of a person's mental health and what that looks like, especially in the perinatal period, and why it's so important.
Yes, movement is medicine. It really and truly is. Before we had our modern medicine, we had people outside. We had people doing the manual labor out in the sun, touching the earth, down in the dirt. Our bodies, they're full of energy. And so being out in that natural energy, being out in the elements, creating that energy, and then moving your body, releasing those endorphins, those feel good hormones, it actually helps to rewire our brain to think more clearly, to think more positively. So when you're talking about the connection between mental health and physical fitness, an unhealthy body is going to produce unhealthy thoughts. Unhealthy thoughts are going to contribute to an unhealthy body. So one doesn't move without the other. Usually we start on one end of the spectrum. A lot of people will start, well, not a lot of people. Some people will start physically, they're like, man, I'm gonna go get my life together. I'm gonna go get my body right. I'm gonna go do the things in the gym. But in turn, that turns into, man, I've been doing all this work in the gym. Now I'm gonna eat healthier. But now your mind is thinking more clearly because it's like, I'm doing what's best for my body. It's a pattern, it's a cycle, it's like a domino effect. Those small choices lead to other small choices that in turn affect our overall health. And so when you're talking about mental health, that mental health piece It really does contribute to the mental well-being of our small people. And it's crazy because the science is actually there now that the mental health of partner, dad, weighs that much more heavily on the emotional foundation of our little ones as they grow. And so, yes, we talk about mom and her mental health and, trying to make sure we're staying on top of the PMADs that she might be experiencing and things like that. PMADs, perinatal mood and anxiety disorders. But when we need to talk about partner too, because if they set the environment for the household, whether we want to admit it or not. Just when you're thinking about the dynamic of home, they are the ones that set the tone, the foundation. And so if you're dealing with a dysregulated partner, a dysregulated man, a person who is not in control of their emotions, is not in tune with their mental health, those thought processes, those patterns, those things that slip out, whether they want to say them or not, those are the things that are building the foundation of the emotional regulations of our little ones. So you have to regulate mentally, emotionally to be able to raise regulated small people.
Love this conversation so much. I'm happy you're doing this research, girl. Please keep it
Yes.
coming. It's so, so, so very important for us and definitely needs to be integrated into childbirth education classes of why it's so important.
Mhm.
Um, One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is that you are certified in bar, and I
Yes.
love that for you.
Yes, it's brand new, just
Yes,
happened.
congratulations.
Thank you.
What does it look like in this perinatal period for mom?
Um, I love bar. I love bar so much. Shout out to Bar 3 Huntsville. I love them. I fell in love with them about a year ago now, and they didn't converted me. I drank the Kool-Aid, and I'm there. Like,
Listen, I seen your TikToks. I seen your TikToks. Okay, all up in the
you know,
class.
I'm fully invested, okay? But being somebody I love fitness, I love the science behind it. I hate microwave fitness, and it's microwave fitness like social media fitness, the influencer thing. If you notice, I'm not an influencer. I have no desire to be because I don't want to get paid to perform. I want to educate. I want to teach. Um, and that was one of the things that I loved about bar. The first class that I took, I was given a free pass. They supported us at an event we did, and it was a gift that they gave us to give out. And I took a couple free classes, and I just remember being in the class and being forced to be more present, which is interesting because, as somebody who works out, who's very aware of their body, I thought I was present when I was working out. And I mean, there probably was a level of present that I was attaining, but I was not as grounded and rooted in myself as I thought I was. And the way that bar breaks down the things that you should feel in your body, the connections that you should be making through these movements, I understood the science behind it. I knew how to tell you what to do, but the way that they were able to explain not just the how, but the what you're feeling and where you should be feeling it and how it should feel was different. And I love that. Like I was like, yes, I need to hear more of this. But when it comes to pregnancy, and postpartum, they're very intentional about supporting your core. They're very intentional about making sure your workout is tailored to your body. So even though there's one instructor, there's one class, all the way throughout that class, we're cueing you, hey, modify here if you feel X, Y, and Z. Adjust here if this is not serving your body today. And that was something I really appreciated, was being able to make the adjustments as necessary. So even though I discovered bar a little later in my postpartum experience, there were some ways I was able to more deeply connect with my core, with my breathing, and just being more grounded and rooted through my feet as I'm moving through these different exercises, and also just providing a safe space for people in that perinatal space. Yes, you can exercise. Yes, you can get a full workout. Yes, you are included in this class. And no, you don't have to go seek out anything special and unique. Like, you can continue to do the things that you do here in this space and still feel like you're a part of the team. And so that was one of the things I love about bar. And, Bar 3 Huntsville, I love them bad because they also offer childcare at some of their classes too. Because it's
Yes.
like, yes, because who was gonna watch this child? Like, go get this workout. If you don't have a kid, it's not something you ever think about because why would you care if your kid has somewhere to go at the gym? So that was one of the things about bar that I really appreciated, and their approach is very unique. Bar is a combination of Pilates, it's a combination of ballet training, yoga, and strength training. And the way that they're able to incorporate these all into one class, all into one workout in a 45 to 60 minute, chunk of time, it's impressive. And I find it to be very effective.
Yes, you were reading my mind because I was going to ask you what was the difference with bar and Pilates and yoga.
R3, I know with them specifically, what caught my attention is a lot of times bar and Pilates, you work through a small range of motion through most
Mm,
of your class. Bar 3 is very intentional about incorporating large ranges of movement. So yes, you're building the endurance from the small range, but you're building the functional movement patterns of large range, which is what we do in everyday life. Cause like we're not doing this every day. Like, yes, it helps you. Like you're stronger, you can do things longer. But when it comes to being able to move fully and big the way that our bodies were created to do, they are very intentional about incorporating that in their workouts as well.
so, what would be an example of long range movement versus short range movement?
So, small range, you want to think about like maybe a 1 inch movement. So, if you're doing a squat, you're like moving down an inch, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch. A large range, you're going through that full range of depth that you're thinking about, like when you're doing a squat thing. Well, for like my gym girlies thinking ass to grass and then coming all the way back up into a standing position. So, working your joints through that full range of motion that it has the capability of moving through.
Okay. So, if someone's just starting out on their journey, what are some signs that someone in the perinatal period may be doing just a little bit too much?
You want to think about pressure. If you have pressure that does not let up through your workouts, pain, and when I say pain, I don't mean discomfort. Exercise is supposed to be a little uncomfortable. And I think people get very confused. There's a difference between pain and a little bit of discomfort. Exercise is uncomfortable, but if you're having pain, to where your body is trying to fight you out of this, or, you feel like ripping, burning, tearing, anything like that, that is not okay. If you're peeing on yourself, if you're leaking, you want to talk to your coach. You want to talk to them and let them know that you're experiencing these things. If they're not asking you about these things, also, that's another red flag, and you probably need to move on because they need to be always checking, hey, like I saw you grab your tummy. What's going on? Like, is baby okay? Are you okay? Also, any contracting or coning during pregnancy or postpartum, those are big no-nos as well. If you're having contractions from your workout, something is not right and you should go and find your provider.
So, this is exercise related, but I just want to ask you since you are the personal trainer. So, when someone starts working out, and let's say they start running, what is that feeling that they are feeling inside of their legs where it's like super itchy, but they can't scratch the itch because it's on the inside? What is happening?
Your body is not used to moving that way, so your muscles, I forget the name of it, but I think it's like a histamine release, if I'm not mistaken. Like you get itchy from the unusual movement. And so even I'm not a runner. When I run, I get the itchies, I get scratchy, or things like that. But it'll pass as your body gets used to it. It won't happen as often. But yeah, it's just it's a part of your body adapting to the new experience.
So I've
Mhm.
always been interested in what the science is behind it, what it's called, and what's actually happening. So thank you for that.
Sometimes, well, no, I'm not going to say that because I am not a medical professional. Never mind.
Oh my gosh, this has been such an amazing conversation. I love this. Can you give us 5 gems that you just want to drop that you think that people should know during this time of working out?
One, you don't make time, you take time.
Mm.
The time will never be made. You have to require it for yourself. The way you require time to go to sleep or get up and go to the bathroom, get up and require time to move your body. If you don't take it now, the time is going to take itself later. 5. Wow, that's a big number. One of my favorites that I always tell my class, change happens in discomfort. My word for the year is unnatural. Do the things that don't come to you naturally. And that is where you will experience the most change, the most growth. Do it
Yes,
scared. Go
yes,
ahead.
come on, 3. I would say 3. I was counting down for you. I was counting down for you.
Do it scared. Do it scared. It's new, it's uncomfortable, trying a new form of exercise, finding a new trainer, whatever it is. I am always a little shy and timid going into new environments where it's like, I'm not an expert in here. Like, I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but do it scared. You never know. I went into bar 3 scared and, like less than a year later, here I am, a whole instructor. So do it scared. What else?
2.
Eat, stretch, rest. Shout out to Hotbox and Dwayne with Hotbox Huntsville. That is something he used to tell us every day after class. If you're going to work out, you need to eat and fuel your body. You need to stretch and give your muscles some love because they are tight and they are tense going through this reconstruction process. And rest. You will undo all of your work if you're not sleeping. Your body will not recover. It will not rebuild if you are not getting the rest that you need. So if you're feeling like your gym gains are like you've reached a plateau, maybe you're not sleeping enough. Maybe you're not eating enough. So look at those things and just don't ever give up on yourself. You are always worth the fight, no matter where you are, no matter where you are on your fitness journey, no matter where you are in your parenting journey, you're worth the fight to rediscover every single time.
Absolutely. I love this. How can we love on you? How can we support you? How can we follow you? How can people who may be in Huntsville work with you? What are your socials?
Yes. Well, you guys can always come check me out at Bar 3 Huntsville. Just download the app. You can see all of my classes, but with my personal pages. So for my business page, PsychoPhit LLC, Instagram and TikTok. If you want to get to know me a little more personally, you can follow me on Instagram at Mama Psycho, MPSYCHO_. Yeah, I keep it a little bit raw and real on there. So you'll know all of the things about Jasmine. And then you can also follow me on Facebook at Jasmine Mitchell and also at PsychoPhit LLC on Facebook as well. And then to know a little bit about what we do in the city, you can visit our website at birthtobounceback.com. So yeah, that's how you guys can reach me. And I love the love. Ask me all the questions. I'm never too busy for a DM. So
Yes. And she's going to give you all the deets on her body butter. Okay? She gonna tell y'all about that body butter that she be buying. Go follow
yes,
her.
Laid Beauty Bar. I gotta shout out my girl, Kayla Joseph. She eats down every time. I
Yeah.
can't. I can't. I smell so good right now. I wish y'all could smell me.
Y'all, she has an addiction. Please go follow her. It's just, I'm like, Jazz, seriously. Like, why why is the bed covered in body butter like
Listen,
that?
and
Okay.
honestly, that was a big piece of me finding myself in postpartum. I
Mm,
know it sounds so silly. I bought my first body balm from her, just supporting. We went to high school together. Well, actually, we went to most of grade school together. And so I was like, yeah, I've never been a big like skincare fragrance girl. So I was never pressed to go and try things like this. But I was like, I'm gonna go support my girl. Went and bought one. I was like, man, I really like this. But being from the hood, it's kind of like, oh, you get something special. You just kind of save it and use it for
mhm,
special
mhm,
occasions.
mhm.
But then I just started using it every day. And my husband was like, I like these. And we went to the store and it just went downhill from there. It was like, but the crazy thing was, I started to see a difference in my skin. My skin was softer, it got brighter. And I was like, this is like, this isn't lotion. Like, this is luxury skincare. And as I started just investing in myself, like, I promise you I'd be having a hard day and then be like, but I smell too good to be stressed out about you people. So it really started like that.
Yes.
And the more it was like I just became obsessed. Like my mood matches my smell every day. Sometimes it's like I take a little bit more time. Like, no, I'm going to go layer my scent combinations so bad in this room. I need an extra 5-10 minutes. Y'all go figure it out and I'll be back because mommy needs her special time. And
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yes.
So go ahead and drop her information. What is her website so that we can go and get us some body
Yes.
balm? We love
Yes.
to shout out and support businesses.
Of course, and it's a Black girl. Y'all go show this Black girl some love. Laid, Laid, beautybar.com. And that's the same on all her socials, Facebook, Kayla Joseph. She's trending on TikTok. They be mad at her on TikTok for some reason, but for child, they can be as mad as they want to because it's enough of us keeping her in business. Go
Yes.
find her, go follow her. She's dropping new stuff like every 2 to 3 days. My poor husband credit card is
It's burned
hurting.
up.
It's hurt.
Well, we
So
are going to
yes.
make sure that not only your contact information is in the description of your episode, but we're going to go ahead and make sure that we are supporting your sis too, as well.
Got to.
So there's always one question that I love to ask our guests before we close out this episode. And that question is, with all of your lived experience, everything that you've been through, everything, not just
Mhm.
professionally, right?
Yeah.
What would you tell little Jasmine today?
But that is hilarious. All of the things wow, I'm gonna cry. Why are you doing this to me today, T? All of the things that you dreamt of doing in your very own unique way, you've done it. Like, it's gonna be okay. Ooh, you may not know the plan, you may not know the path, but the vision is sure and you will get there.
Thank you for being here with us today. Thank you for dropping the gems. Thank you for just giving us some education too and doing it with a smile. We love to
Yes.
see it. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in today, watching this episode. Please go and support Jasmine and her work. Make sure you go get some body butter too. Until then, we will see you in the next one. Peace.